Hi everyone, David Aragona and Mike Beer here, taking a look at one of two graded turf stakes on Saturday at Saratoga. Race 9 is the Grade 2 Saratoga Oaks, going the 1 mile and 3/16 distance on the Mellon Turf course for the 3-year-old fillies. This the second leg of that turf triple series for the fillies. And Mike, a little disappointed to see only 6 runners entered here, but I do think there are some interesting things going on in this race, even though there are only 2 horses coming back from that prior race in the series, the Belmont Oaks. We've got an intriguing new face in Laurelin trying this series for the first time, trying to keep her undefeated record intact. And we've even got a shipper from Europe.
Yeah, I got one shipper over here. We'll see how Go-Go Boots fits with these horses. Certainly been keeping good company overseas, David. It didn't come up with a super interesting field, but the two bookends here, the two horses that you made the shortest prices on the line here, Opulent, Restraint, Laurelin, they're both really good. I mean, these are nice horses to have in a race like this.
And the key to the chances for one of those favorites, the number one Opulent Restraint, could be how quickly they go up front. And we'll take a look at the Timeform US pace projector for this race because, Mike, it really seems like she's taken her game to the next level since they've just decided to put her on the front end and see how far she can carry her speed in these races. And while she hasn't won either of her starts using those tactics, they've been the two best races of her career, I think, by far. And it just remains to be seen how far she can carry that speed on the front end, going a distance like 1 mile and 3/16.
Yeah, it's the real key to her chances in this race for sure. And I guess along those lines, what kind of trip she can get in here kind of depends on the 5, doesn't it? Totally Justified, who was really close to a fast pace 2 starts back, and seemed like she ran really, really well that day, David. And then last time, I don't know what happened in the Belmont Oaks, but she was terrible in that race. I wonder how aggressive they'll get here.
Let's go through this field from the rail out, continue our discussion of the number one Opulent Restraint, who's likely to be the early speed in here. And we'll check out her most recent start in the Grade 1 Belmont Oaks, where she went right to the front end. As you were saying, Mike, Totally Justified was chasing her that day, but Opulent Restraint, she opened up in the early stages and kind of made that field run hard every step of the way. And I think that actually maybe took away from the finish of the heavy favorite Nitrogen, who's going to get run down at the end as both of these fillies dueling up front get swallowed up by Thean in the final strides of this race. But I thought Opulent Restraint battled on pretty gamely into the late stages, considering that enterprising pace. And I kind of wondered about her getting the 9 furlongs. She got it well enough, so maybe an extra 16th isn't outside the realm of possibility.
Yeah, especially if she can maybe get away a little bit easier on the early lead this time. We'll see how it all plays out here. This is a short field, which might help her chances. Yeah, she just ran great last time. Nitrogen, at least at that time, and maybe still was the leading 3-year-old turf filly in the country. She really made her work. I think there's an argument to be made that Laurelin, who's back in this race, is the second best 3-year-old turf filly in the country, and Opulent Restraint made her work 2 starts back. Yeah. And the memories of silver. She's in great form right now. She's super dangerous in here.
The number 2, Sigh No More, we're making her third start in North America. And I think we saw some progression from her first start to second, Mike, because she really was never a factor in that hilltop over that boggy turf course at Pimlico. I thought she ran a little better last time in the Boiling Springs. Now, it wasn't the strongest field, but I did like the way she came through along the inside, split horses, and finished off that race at the end. And I wonder if she's kind of racing herself into form, because you look back at her 2-year-old form, and it kind of took her a while to reach her peak. But when she did reach that peak in that 40-1 Group 3 upset at Leopardstown last October, she beat a horse, Trinity College, who has since gone on to place in some Group 1 races. So, I mean, she's got form that suggests that maybe she could eventually do better in this country. We just haven't quite seen it yet.
Yeah, it didn't seem like a fluke either when she pulled off that big upset. And it's also worth noting that was, on a stretch out for her, a couple of 7 furlong races leading up to it. They stretched her out to 9, and it seemed like she really took the step forward. So you don't have to worry about distance with her. Like you, I didn't love her stateside debut, but she certainly improved last time. We'll see if she can improve again.
The number 3, Go-Go Boots, is one of the tougher calls in this race, having never been seen in North America before. She's coming in, switching into the Miguel Clement barn, though I don't think Miguel's had her for very long because she only raced in the middle of June, and she was previously trained by John Gosden overseas. And it seems like she's just coming over for this race as a horse that's been owned for her entire career by Bobby Flay. And Mike, they tried some pretty tough spots the last couple of times. She was never a factor in the Betfred Oaks. I mean, just was outrun every step of the way. Last time in the Ribblesdale, she picked up some pieces at the end, but that was a race where they went really quickly up front. A horse just ran off on the lead, and it seemed like the race was falling apart at the end. So I don't know how much credit I really want to give her, but she does have form lines that suggest she belongs here.
Yeah, all those things are true. I don't have anything to add to that. I'm not thrilled with what I've seen from her just on the tape over there. Maybe they're just shipping her over and running her in a better spot here. I didn't really like either of her last two races, even the Group 3 starts back where, she did get bumped a couple of times in the straightaway there where she was trying to get clear, but I thought she was clear with plenty of time in that race and just never really made an impact. I'm just not sure how good she is, David, and it's not like she's going to be some kind of huge price in here.
I will say some of those Aiden O'Brien horses that were beating her over there, Whirl and Mini Hawk, seem like they might be above par what we typically see running in some of those races. They've already proven themselves against older horses in Europe. The number 4, Evershed, is a horse that's coming off a victory upon return at Colonial in early July. I'm like, this was a horse that never ran fast as a 2-year-old, but she did look good breaking her maiden at Tampa last December, and she did everything right in that return race at Colonial. I don't think she was beating the toughest field, but a step forward here would not be a surprise.
No, it wouldn't be. We'll see if she can improve enough because it's not like she can just show up and improve a little bit and be a factor. She's going to have to improve quite a bit, but I wonder if she's going to be able to do it. She's got a lot of pedigree behind her. The sprint debut, you could totally tell that she just needed a race there. She was super green. They didn't even really ask her for anything, and she just sort of finished fifth on her own in that race. But I thought she really moved forward when she broke her maiden, and when they brought her back from the layoff last time, I think she might have improved even more than it looks, sort of weaker field or not. She could not have been ridden any more confidently than she was in that race. And she won that race very, very easily. I think she has a chance to be really good.
Yeah, it looked like a spot in mid-stretch where she might have moved too soon to be vulnerable. Then she kicked on again to the wire, and you like to see that, especially for a horse that's stretching out in distance. And as you said, she's got a ton of pedigree, especially on the bottom side, to go longer. The number 5, Totally Justified. She was kind of the big disappointment at the Belmont Oaks last time. She was a horse that I actually liked coming into that race, off her better than it looked second place finish in the Regret 2 back, whereas Mike was mentioning earlier, she was involved in a fast pace that day and held on for second behind the Belmont Oaks winner Fian, but you could just tell she was empty from a long way out in that Belmont Oaks, even passing the half-mile pole. She wasn't going after Opulent, Restraint on the front end, and then just backed up through the field. I wondered watching that race if maybe she bled or if there was some excuse, but the fact that they're coming back so quickly and her having returned to the work tab 2 weeks later makes me think that maybe there wasn't some big excuse. So I'm not sure what to make of her here.
Yeah, I don't know. She's a really tough call because you're right. Just the fact that they come back in this race, I feel like you have to take it as a good sign. And as bad as she was last time, and man, she was bad in there. She's way better than that, David. If they're going to run her back in here, she's got a race in her that's going to make her way more competitive. It'll be interesting to see what she does because in a lot of ways, she holds the keys to this race. If she's going to go forward and make Opulent Restraint run early in this spot, it could certainly help some of the others.
The number 6, Laurelin, is the one that I pegged as the morning line favorite. And Mike, I've been a big fan of this horse really right from the start of her career. And I know that you've agreed the entire time. We'll take a look at her replay of her most recent start in the Penn Oaks when she took her undefeated record to 4 for 4. And this was a race that got rescheduled, I think, a couple of times. And I don't know if she was in the first division, but she ended up going in this race when they ran it in late June and gets the job done here, Mike. Only an 80 buyer. And when you just take stock of her buyer speed figures, you might wonder why she's as short a price as she is in this race. But then you watch the replays and she's run better than it looks every time, sometimes making middle moves in her races, settling them before they get to the quarter pole. She beat Opulent Restraint 2 back, and it was a hard fought decision, but I think we've seen since then how much Opulent Restraint has improved in recent races. And the Penn Oaks last time, Mike, I know it only got an 80 buyer, but the 2 runbacks from that race have really flattered the form.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And first of all, yeah, we should just point out that both the second and third finishers have run back. They've run back in pretty tough stakes races too, and they both really improved their figures. So that's a good thing for Laurelin. But she's just one of those fillies where the figures, at least in my opinion, they don't matter. When you watch her run, she just gets the trip that she needs to get, and she kind of does it on her own. Her rider can do whatever he wants with her. She'll take him where he needs to be, and then when he calls her on the stretch, she's still there and has more to give for him. She's really good, and not only that, she's way better than she looks on paper.
And based on pedigree, she's not supposed to have any problem stretching out in distance. Her sire, Zarek, was a Group 1 winner going 1.5 miles in Europe, the son of that ARC winner, Zarkava. And he's been a sire of horses that want to run as far as they write races. So Laurelin should be fine going the 9.5 furlongs. Let's go to picks for this Saratoga Oaks, Mike. And I'm going to put Laurelin on top. I just didn't have a whole lot of interest in trying to beat her here. And as you said, she can make her own trips. So I'm not too worried about the pace situation.
Yeah, I'm not either. I do think that Opulent Restraint deserves a a lot of respect in her just for the last 2 starts. She has run really well. She's clearly improved, and because she has gotten better, I don't know. I didn't really want to, split hairs between the 2 favorites in here. I think they will be close in price. I prefer Laurelin, but I could see either one of them winning. And so that just led me to maybe look for an alternative in here. And I do think Evershed's good. Maybe this isn't the right time to play her, but if she does turn out to be really good, you're going to get a price on her on Saturday, David, and I'll take it.
No, she's definitely an option with a lot of upside in this grade 2 Saratoga Oaks. 4-6-1-3 for Mike and 6-1-2-4 for me in the 9th race at Saratoga on Saturday. Good luck if you're playing the races later this week.